one soldier gets a bang out of his Army job. Welcome to Army Newswatch. I'm Specialist Ashley Torres. We'll have that story and more, but first, here's a look at what's going on around the Army. It's the largest joint mission to happen since the 1950s. This year, Joint Logistics Over the Shore, or JLOTS, brought together about 2,700 soldiers, sailors, and Marines at Camp Pendleton, California.
But in the war plans that we've got in the United States military, JLOTS plays a key role, and it's a strategic role. It's the ability to move large amounts of forces behind an enemy through a strategic geographical location, perhaps behind the enemy lines where the enemy doesn't suspect it, because there's no ports there, and all of a sudden we're able to get in behind the enemy and change the tide of the battle.
JLOTS can also be used for humanitarian relief during natural disasters. Everyday necessities like gas and groceries may seem to be bending your wallet. One financial planner has a couple of pointers to help save you some money.
Well, the first way that you can cut excess spending is by knowing what you're spending, right? So you have to track your expenses on a spending record of some sort. You can use pen and paper, you can use a software program. There are several different approaches, but if you don't know where your money is going, what it's being spent on, then it's very easy to overspend. So the first step is know what your money is being spent on, how much, and on what. From there, you can create a budget so that you can avoid overspending in the future. It's very, very important, and in fact, it's the first step to financial health.
Walbert says another way to prevent overspending is make a grocery list before shopping. Soldiers who need a break from stress of deployment head to a place where they can kick back and relax. In Baghdad? That's right, they can set down their weapons and head to Freedom Rest. Soldiers get a chance to take a real shower, eat a good meal, and most importantly, sleep. The main attraction is the pool. Contests like the Big Splash competition help soldiers beat the heat.
2 jumps off the 1 meter, 2 off the 5, and then 2 off the 10. We also have a water balloon fight on day 1, which I usually stay out of. I just want them to get a chance to relax, you know, get away from the troubles of being in Iraq and to just let go for a little bit, unwind.
The U.S. Army Chaplain Corps celebrated 233 years of faithful service with a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery.
What a humble honor it is to come here and to reflect on the great heritage that we have as a chaplaincy. 233 years of faithful service. Even before our nation was formed, our Continental Congress and our founding fathers and mothers recognized the need that as our American patriots went to war, they needed to go with their spiritual leaders.
Right now, there are more than 290 chaplains deployed, serving alongside soldiers in combat. Army chaplains represent approximately 200 different faith groups. Having some basic language skills when you're downrange comes in handy to communicate with the locals. The Defense Language Institute has set up a new website where soldiers can get some free language guides.
You can get materials that are at a familiarization level, which is kind of stop, don't shoot, take me to your leader. And you can also get Head Start products. We currently have Head Start, which are 80-hour courses with an avatar with which you can interact and learn Iraqi dialect or Dari or Pashto to get you to a little bit beyond a familiarization level. And also on that website you'll find a lot of cultural products, cultural awareness, country in perspective.
Well, it's time to give a big Army hood to the stations that bring Army Newswatch to you, and especially to HCN, Channel 3 and 7, Harford County, Maryland, and GTV2, Channel 2, Allen County, Ohio. Thanks for watching. Don't go away. Overcoming challenges to be the best green suiter you can be. We have one soldier success story. Plus, some Army National Guard recruits are put through their paces during Operation Summer Surge. Stick around and we'll be right back.
Today's adventure takes us to the home of the generals. MacArthur, Marshall, Westmoreland, and Eisenhower all lived here. Do you know where we are? This property was once home to Robert E. Lee before it was seized by federal forces during the Civil War. This is also where Orville Wright first tested airplanes for military use in 1908. I'll be back with the answer in a moment.
Hey, you want to make a difference and make new friends? Me? Try volunteering. Are you into it?
Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
Did you figure it out? It's Fort Myer, Virginia. Fort Myer has housed the Army Chiefs of Staff since 1908. The installation also has many important ceremonial roles. The 3rd U.S. Infantry, known as the Old Guard, provides caissons and guards for military and state funerals at Arlington National Cemetery. That wraps up this trip. See you next time for another adventure.
So lost. No, I am not, man. Dude, I dropped my phone. Yo, the road! Whoa! Okay.
How would you like to save your life from an ugly, reckless driving death? Don't answer yet. There's more. Act now by slowing down, and we'll guarantee you complete satisfaction.
That's awesome!
In the real world, there is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. There's only you. Speak up.
Whoa, Andy, slow down.
Welcome back. In wartime, every soldier has a job to do. Private First Class Matthew Anderson is far from his home state of Texas, but the enemy still gets a bang out of his work.
Well, I'm with the 101st Airborne Division 2506. Well, my job, I'm 11 Charlie, I'm infantry. I'm Mortarman. So basically what I do is if they need indirect fire, then we go to our mortar systems, and we get pretty much a distance and direction and start dropping rounds on them. And it's a lot of fun to use. So when we get the call for fire, we love dropping rounds. Our mission right now is find the bad guys and get rid of them, pretty much. There's lots of ways we accomplish the mission. Well, we send teams out to go find them, try to get intel, and hopefully we can find them and weed them out.
Many people join the military to prove themselves. One soldier in Afghanistan knows all about overcoming challenges. Air Force Staff Sergeant Michael McCool has the story.
The members of the 101st Headquarters Support Company, Division Special Troops Battalion at Bagram are putting a new engine into a Humvee. There are many obstacles to overcome, but the team works hard and is led by a man who knows all about overcoming obstacles. Staff Sergeant Juan Manzano grew up with a speech impediment.
There is a couple things that basically I cannot do because of it, but I never quit on it or never say I'm not gonna do it or what have not. I just try to do my best and continue on.
He overcame the trials of childhood with determination and a little counsel.
Honestly, I always kind of had this thing that my mom told me that people like me, we are different. Not basically every person could be the same. So that pep talk has not always stayed with me.
It's almost there. I see it. There it is.
Staff Sergeant Michael McCool, Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan.
The new structure of Afghanistan is being built with the skill and talent of the local people. Gail McCabe has more.
His name is Ismail Amiri. He's one of a growing number of Afghans stepping forward and taking part in the reconstruction of their country. Amiri works for the Afghan Engineer District in the province of Herat. Like most of the country, daily life in Herat follows traditional paths. Known as one of the more peaceful parts of Afghanistan, the people here struggle, but overall quality of life is better than most. At age 26, Amiri is one of the few with a recent education, holding a degree in civil engineering, which he proudly uses at the AED as a deputy resident engineer. A career, he says, he couldn't pursue in the time of the Taliban.
In the Taliban time, that was too hard for you to get educated. You would be easily kidnapped by them or beheaded because you are studying technology or English.
He applies his knowledge at projects like this regional logistics center for the Afghan National Police. Some 500 Afghans are building the RLC, which, according to Amiri, is just one example of what Afghans like himself are doing for their country. He says his goal is to get a scholarship in order to continue his education, an education he will continue to use for Afghanistan. Gail McCabe, Herat.
It stunned and captivated the world. It made news headlines. And soon after, it was destroyed. On September 6th, for the first time in 100 years, it will return to Fort Myer. Dave Anarino explains.
In a small Virginia town lies a road with a name. At the end sits a warehouse filled with history and disarray.
It's kind of a long story.
A team of machinists, woodworkers, and engineers gather daily. Their effort is simple: to preserve the past.
I'm almost halfway through. I have to cut 40. I think I've got 19 here. So I'm getting there.
And amidst the clutter of antique bicycles and cars, boxes and cans, sits the birth of military aviation.
We've taken to calling it the Fort Myer Flyer.
It is the only example that exists today of that airplane.
September of 1908 is when the Army first laid eyes on the plane that would change the way it fought.
The Wright brothers were thought of as frauds. The New York Times even said they are flyers or liars. And they instantly became world famous. It's as if somebody demonstrated the time machine today.
But on September 17th, the trials ended in disaster. Orville Wright suffered injuries, his passenger died, and the flyer was lost forever.
I don't want to use that on the plane, so I'm marking it.
The materials are exactly as what the Wrights used. There are no blueprints for this airplane. The Wrights were very secretive. They were trying to protect their patent. So what we basically do is search all of the letters and the writings of the Wrights that we possibly can find and actually come up with a set of drawings for the aircraft.
It took 16 employees 18 months to recreate, an accomplishment to be shared with the public.
The story of the Wrights and what they did has never really been told.
If I grasp it, I grasp it. If I can touch it, see it, hear it, smell it, I can understand it. It goes in completely. There's no substitute for that kind of learning.
And so, a plane is reborn in a warehouse, on a road, 50 miles from a place where history was made. Dave Anarino, Washington.
Still to come, science and technology is giving wounded warriors another chance at living an active life. More of the stories that make America's Army are up next.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Major of the Army Ken Preston. No matter where you are stationed or where you live, you can still have your voice heard by using the absentee ballot. Request your absentee ballot early from your voting assistance officer. Your vote makes a difference. Remember, wherever you are, it's your responsibility to vote. Be smart and do your part. Hua.
There's a lot of talk out on the street about his mother, your mother, their mother. But in the end, is anyone really even thinking about them?
Welcome back. Losing a limb doesn't mean you have to lose your way of life. Prosthetic technology continues to evolve, giving amputees the freedom to lead an active life. Crystal Park takes a look at how these limbs are made.
This is what we do here at Walter Reed. Said we get to come and play in the mud. Yeah.
I like it. I feel more stable in it than the Oser.
Today, Sergeant Fairfax is getting a new knee.
I was falling a lot in it, and it was just a pain in the butt because it's more embarrassing than anything else when you fall in public.
Amputees like Sergeant Fairfax come to Walter Reed to get state-of-the-art prosthetics.
I feel bad for our surgeons. They wind up having to take something very significant away from someone,
and I get to be the guy who gives at least part of that back to them.
The process begins with the plaster mold of the patient's limb.
This is going to get messy quick.
And then I take that mold, create a model, and I take that model and then I hand shape it.
The mold is covered in plastic and then placed into an infrared oven.
The infrared rays actually penetrate down into the plastic and soften it. So then at this point, Art's going to take this and clean up the trim lines. Then he'll mount up his components, install a valve, and off the patient goes.
Today's prosthetics don't have to look like cold, robotic limbs. Silicone skin gives artificial limbs a startling resemblance to the real thing. Creating lifelike parts requires a meticulous artist who captures every detail, right down to the toenail.
Always like, all right, when am I going to fall? When am I going to fall? I always had to make sure it was always locked to the rear. Hopefully in like 6 more months, I'd like to get back to running.
It's going to make it a whole lot better.
For a long-term goal, Sergeant Fairfax, who remains on active duty, is looking to get right back to where the action is.
A year from now, I'd like to get back to deploying downrange. Even though I might not be able to do everything physically like I used to be, I still, got it up here.
And now, thanks to the prosthetists at Walter Reed, he's got it down here, too. Crystal Park, Washington.
During Operation Summer Surge, about 60 North Dakota National Guard recruits got a taste of what basic training is all about. Captain Penny Ripperger brings us that story.
I don't know why you're walking.
As recruits arrived at the Armed Forces Reserve Center in Fargo, North Dakota, they came face to face with a drill sergeant.
Not here to stand here all day waiting for you.
The purpose here is to more or less give the new basic training soldiers a taste of what it's like to have the campaign hat and the drill sergeant badge on a uniform around them.
Keep pushing. I didn't say stop. And you're going to get in process. You got that? Yes, drill sergeant.
Instructing them on which way to go, when they need to be there, and how fast they need to get there.
Cover. Get going. Get going. Go.
The Recruiting Training Battalion trains the new recruits on skills needed administratively, physically, and the fundamentals for basic training.
139.
I think this is real effective because back in '86 when I joined the Army, I literally went from the recruiter's desk to MEP station, from MEP station to the airport, and I didn't know diddly squat about what was about to happen to me. So I was like 17 years old and as lost as it could be. So I actually believe that this weekend or this week while we're here is going to give them a real first eye-opener of what's about to happen the next 72 hours of their life.
Follow the blue arrow, and you interrupt any of the interviews going over there. You and I are going to have a discussion. Get going!
I'm Captain Penny Ripperger, reporting for the National Guard.
Why are you walking again?
Endangered species typically have a difficult time finding a suitable habitat in an ever-changing world. But Hohenfels, Germany boasts some of the largest populations of threatened animals in all of Bavaria. James Williams has more.
One particular endangered species here at Hohenfels doesn't mind seeing military vehicles roll by because what those multi-ton vehicles leave behind are homes. Don't see them? Look again. There, that little puddle of water. Tracked vehicles create depressions in the earth that collect rainwater. Perfect habitat for the yellow-bellied toad.
This is one of the best examples here in the training area where we can find the habitat mosaic caused by the military training.
Outside the training area, you might find pockets of 10 to 20 toads.
And here you can count them by thousands. You will hardly find any puddle without any in. And
these puddles sustain the largest amount of yellow-bellied toads in Bavaria.
When you have a close look, you can see the heart-shaped black in the eye. It's a typical shape for the yellow-bellied toad.
In fact, if soldiers quit training here, it would mean dire consequences for the toads.
The rare species specialized on this special type of habitats will extinct here. It's no doubt.
Military maneuvers requiring tracked vehicles ensure that these toads can survive and reproduce.
So they got as many spawning pools as they ever want.
Another species able to reproduce quite well at Hohenfels, bats. Bat populations throughout Germany have declined dramatically over the last few decades, but of the 21 bat species found in Bavaria, you can find all but 2 at Hohenfels.
First finger, second, third.
Soldiers here train and move on, unaware that while they prepare for war, they also help nature survive. James Williams, Hohenfels, Germany.
The Corps of Engineers is going back to basics with a research project that shows great potential in Florida. Mary Cochran visited the site and reports how this study can help restore the Everglades ecosystems.
Urban and farm runoff has harmed one of America's national treasures, the Everglades. Phosphorus is the problem here, and the Corps of Engineers is using Mother Nature to clean it up. You could say it's lunchtime at this test site, and this biological treatment crowd likes chicken wings. Here's the analogy.
This is a cattail right here. This is what you call emergent growth. It likes the chicken wings high. It wants to eat more phosphorus at higher levels, 100 parts per billion. After it eats it down to, let's say, 40 parts per billion of phosphorus, 50 parts per billion, then it's finished eating. But your submerged aquatic vegetation, it likes to eat it in that range from 25 parts per billion to 40 parts per billion. And then you have the periphyton. It looks like Dijon honey mustard. It likes to eat at 25 parts per billion or less, which I consider no sauce at all. It likes plain wings.
Spicy or not, this $4.5 million research program can dramatically improve water quality.
I feel this is one of the better use of taxpayer dollars. I mean, we're looking at a sustainable ecosystem. The Corps of Engineers is leading the charge on this thing.
A charge to restore an ecosystem on the fringe of Florida's mega metropolis. Mary Cochran, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Coming up, they're rocking a fob near you. We'll introduce you to a soldier band. We'll be right back.
What is your problem, man?
You're welcome.
What the heck is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Don't give me that. All right. What's going on here, fellas?
The missile was about to hit the school. I just acted as fast as I could.
That doesn't change the fact that I don't have a car anymore. Who just throws a person's car at a missile?
You're serious?
Yeah. Who's going to pay for my car?
I guess I could.
Do you even have a real job?
Yes.
Do you have insurance?
I saw the whole thing. Call me.
Looking at. Oh, so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Open your window. Say something.
Always roll he's gonna down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. A soldier band from Camp Taji, Iraq is helping the troops rock out during their tour in Iraq. Meet Dead Reckoning.
Hey, this is Joseph Ray, and I'm here with the band Dead Reckoning. I'm a lead guitar player. We're from 556 Signal Company, 225 SBCT, stationed in Taji, Iraq. Myself and Mike Billingsley over here have been playing music on between 16 and 30 years between the two of us. So just love music, got out here and had an opportunity to get together and order some instruments and try to do something different. Command let us get a place to practice and order some instruments and stuff, so we get to practice and have a little time in our off time. Just put it together and started playing songs. It started sounding good, so we started touring.
I know in the brigade we see soldiers come in when we're practicing, and they enjoy it. We also did a little gig out at the Mud House, and there was about 80 people out there, and they had a great time. So you can really see that the soldiers enjoy seeing something different, seeing soldiers doing things to entertain people. So it's a good time.
You know, know, playing in front of a crowd, it makes you nervous, but after we play a song or two, I think everybody calms down and music starts flowing a little better. But you can tell when, you know, if the crowd's enjoying it, then everybody starts cutting up, having a good time. I was in the drum line, high school, in a band, and been in all kinds of bands since then. So it's really a great opportunity to get to play for these soldiers. Personally, yeah, it's helped me musically, and it's also helped me to relieve a lot of stress. And I think it helps me to relieve other people's stress, so it's kind of a win-win for me and everybody else. Because I know what most of the people out here are going through. We're all doing the same things, and if we can just make it go by a little faster, I'm sure it'll be better for all of them. We tend to stick with the, I don't know, a lot of older rock and just classic rock. Some newer rock songs we throw in there for the younger guys, but we're all kind of old school, got that good blues vibe. We like good music, good melody, so we try to pick out songs that we think everybody's going to respond to, everybody's going to recognize, and we get a good vibe of it.
Ray and Sergeant Billingsley are basically two experienced musicians in the band. So if we find a song that we want to play, we pull out the tabs and look at it, and we bring it to these two, and they actually put chord progressions down and the beats down, and we just fall in on those beats. So they're basically the heart and soul of the band, and we just glue on top of them, actually create a good sound.
It's great to be doing something like this. I've been in music for a very long time, and I've had a few bands, and it's just great to actually have an opportunity to do it out here. A lot of people love music, even if it's just listening to it on their iPod while they're working out, or you know, whatever it may be. We actually get a chance to create music for people and have fun doing it and do something different.
We'll probably break up, have a reunion tour in 10 years.
We are Dead Reckoning, coming to a fob near you.
That does it for this edition of Army Newswatch. Join us again next time for the stories that make America's Army.